Hey everyone! This week's video topic is something that makes us uncomfortable. We don't like to talk about it. Alcohol and drug abuse. What do we do? Stay tuned. So like I said, this week's video topic is something that many of you have actually reached out to me and wanted to know more. And so I thought to myself, we should probably just do a video because I'm sure that if so many of you have reached out, that means there's like hundreds more that are suffering on their own and are worried to say anything. And that is alcohol and drug abuse and how it really relates to our eating disorders and our self-harm. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to lump alcohol and drugs together as one. And the reason for that is that these things, alcohol and drugs, are really just coping skills, like another unhealthy coping skill. And I don't really want to differentiate them because it just gets too crazy. I was reading the DSM about it the other day and I was like, there's too much information. I can't put it all in a video. So, putting it together. So the main difference when we're talking about alcohol and drug abuse is abuse versus dependence. Now, if you think about the words abuse and dependence, abuse isn't as bad as dependence. It's just a lower level of a struggle with it, I guess. And they describe, like, let's say alcohol abuse as someone who uses too much of it and it affects their life, right? So they have a problem. Dependence is when you have to keep increasing the amount. So I used to have 2 cocktails and feel tipsy. Now I have 4 cocktails and I'm just kind of tipsy, but 6 is really where I need. It just keeps increasing over time. And the same with drugs. Well, I don't know. I'm not very knowledgeable about drugs myself. I don't know what you'd say, like a hit, 2 hits, pill, 1 pill, 2 pill. You have to keep increasing, right? We have to keep increasing the dose. I'm not very hip with the lingo, sorry guys. But you have to keep increasing it to get the same effect. And so, Shauna's laughing at me, but I'm not very cool. So, or I'm extra cool, right? Dare to say no to drugs. But anyway, so now I just completely lost it. So when we're talking about abuse and dependence, someone with abuse is someone who may use it recreationally and it affects their life, but it isn't completely invading it to the point where they can't function at a higher level. Like they can't come to class, therefore they fail their classes, therefore they have to drop out and things start compiling. That would be more dependence and they have to keep using more and they're using it every day. So I know this is kind of confusing, but can you see the differences? So abuse is like is kind of en route to dependence if we keep abusing it. And the way that this really relates to our eating disorder and our self-harm is that we may not be self-harming anymore, or we may not be restricting or purging or binging anymore, but we're drinking every day. And you can see why that's not really helpful in the long run, right? Because we can't be drunk every day, all day, because our body can't handle that. And if we aren't using our eating disorder or self-harm, if I was your therapist, I would say something like, well, that's interesting, because it sounds like you're still self-harming or you're still having destructive behavior, because that's really what it is. We're like trading one for the other. Many of you who suffer with eating disorders and self-harm will sometimes tell me, well, I'm not self-harming anymore, but I found my eating disorder to be getting louder. And so I've been using that more. And it's almost like a trade-off, right? So if we've given up our eating disorder and our self-harm, then we might find ourselves using drugs more or drinking more. And that's really just another way to cope. And so what I would encourage you all to do, and this is something that we can all do in general, but specifically for our eating disorder and self-harm, people who also struggle with alcohol and drugs, is to think about what purpose it serves. I know I talk about this a lot, but in my workbook, I even try to bring that about because we need to figure out what purpose it's serving us. Our eating disorder, our self-harm, our alcohol, our drug abuse, they don't just come up for no reason, right? We have emotional stuff going on. We have something that's happened. We have experiences, we have responses to those experiences that we just don't want to deal with. It's so hard, right? And so we'll turn to something else as another outlet. There I go with the air quotes again, but as another outlet for those emotions, those feelings that we have, and we don't really have any other way to let them out. So we'll we'll harm ourselves, we'll use our eating disorder, or we might do drugs or drink. Do you see what I mean? How the connection is? And so, because we're just swapping one unhealthy behavior for another, we have to figure out what purpose it's serving for us. What is the emotion? What is the experience? So that we can utilize healthy coping skills to help us process through those emotions and that experience. And that's why I'm always saying journal, reach out to friends, find a therapist, join a group therapy, session, I guess is what they would call it, because they do like 10, you sign up for like 10 group therapy sessions at a time. But we have to find an outlet for it. And it's okay to reach out for help. I know it's scary, and I know everybody gets nervous and they're like, Katie, what is it gonna be like? But I promise you, people who are in the mental health field, we're there to help. We're there to seek to understand. We may not be taking new clients right now, but we can give you people who could take you. We may not specialize in that, but I can give you referrals of people who do. We will make it happen, right? We are there to help and we are there to listen, and I promise it's not as scary as we make it out to be. And for people who suffer with the alcohol and drug abuse portion, there is AA and NA, and I believe that that's worldwide. And AA, for those of you who don't know, Alcoholics Anonymous, and NA is Narcotics Anonymous. So whether it's drugs or alcohol or both, there are meetings all across the world, all different days and times to try to fit with your schedule. So I would encourage you, you can go to what they call an open meeting, because I used to take girls from the eating disorder clinic to some open AA meetings and NA meetings. And that's when somebody can go who may not be a regular member or may not actually struggle themselves, and you can see what it's like. So nobody would know if you actually, struggled with alcohol or drug abuse. You can go and feel it out, see what you think, okay? So I would encourage you, find someone to talk to, whether it's a therapist, a group, you join AA, you join NA, because we really have to figure out what it is that we're trying to cope with using that instead of our self-harm eating disorders. Why are we switching to another unhealthy behavior, right? We need a healthy outlet, which can be my website. Hey, you can get on my website and you can write a blog, and I'm opening up forums soon, so you can talk there. But that's another outlet, and we can give each other help and support and love and all that good stuff, right? Because we all deserve to recover. We all deserve to have healthy outlets, live a life of moderation, not feeling like we have to trade one for the other. And it's possible, and I promise we'll get there, and you're not alone. And please leave your comments. What I'd really like in the comments section for this video is your experience with AA, NA, group therapy, things like that, things that you've reached out for help with your struggles, if you struggle with this, and what it was like. I really think that that's something that can really help a lot of people. And I know every time you guys leave those comments, I'm like, thank you so much for sharing your experience. You have no idea how many people this would help, because really we don't know. If someone flutters onto my channel and checks out this video for just a split second, they might get that, and you could have saved a life, and that can feel really good, right? So let's keep sharing. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because I put out a lot of videos. And if you like this topic and you want more information, like I said, there was so much information in the DSM that I was like, I can't put it all in a video. I have to like smush it, make it compact, right? So you want to subscribe, and then you want to like it to let me know to make more. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope that you keep sharing and keep helping one another as we work towards a healthy mind and a healthy body. You really laughed on that one. I don't know drug topics. Pills, hits, I don't know. I need to watch more of The Wire. Also maybe, I don't know, what are some good drug shows? What are some good drug shows? That's a great segue. Matlock.
Murder, She
I do like CSI.
Touched by an Angel.
Touched by, oh my God, my mom used to watch that.
Touched by an Angel. It's Touched by an Angel. What is it?
It's Touched by an Angel. It just sounds dirty when you say it that way. Stop saying it that way.